Episode 495 of the TV Dudes, recorded January 10th, 2024. Kyle! This week we're talking about our lack of Nick and the addition of long-lost TV dude Kyle Scott.
Hello.
Kyle, say thing.
Say thing. Oh my gosh. Hey, so great to be here. And yeah, bummer that Nick's not here. Funny enough, ships passing in the night. I just got back from Wisconsin yesterday.
Yes, the cheese barges just passing. So yeah, Nick's in Wisconsin visiting family and family. And yeah, we've got Kyle here instead. And of course, by the immutable laws of podcasting, Nick will be bound by any opinions Kyle states while filling in for him. I don't make the rules. But.
Oh yeah, and everything's been already discussed with him. He completely signs off on anything I have to say tonight. All my hot takes have been vetted. He's ready for this.
Yep. So these will all be opinions that Nick will have to stand by and defend or explain why he's changed his position, because they are, again, his positions. This week on TV Dudes Tune In.
TV Dudes Tune In.
We asked a question on our social medias and you all answered. Kyle, you've heard about this? You know about this one? You've heard about this?
Well, of course I do. You know, tell the listeners though.
So we asked, what is the best, worst person on TV? Villain, train wreck, whatever. They don't have to be the bad guy, but just like the guy you can't stop looking at, captivating character you love to yell at. Who you got?
I feel like there's a couple of obvious ones. Strictly if you're in the anti-hero category, I think Negan comes to mind pretty instantly.
Ooh. Oh man, I watched that entire Negan episode standing up. Like I never sat down. I walked in the room, my roommate at the time was watching it, and I was like, oh, is this that? And just stood there for the next 40 minutes.
No, the all-time one for me though is it Jason Cleason? Jason Kristen Dunst's husband. That blonde guy. Kind of has a Philip Seymour Hoffman look to him. What is that guy's name?
Well, now I can't remember his name.
Anyways, in the final season of Breaking Bad, they have this character that comes on at the beginning.
Yeah, Jesse Plemons.
Plemons, yeah.
No, and I saw that season. I think it's really telling how you feel about Jesse Plemons, whether you saw Landry on Friday Night Lights. I fell in love with him because he's the sweetest. He's just, he's a murderer, but he's the greatest.
Oh.
Yeah, weird season 2 on Friday Night Lights, y'all.
Not a Friday Night Lights guy.
So
maybe I should be.
If you watched that first, he's the main character's best friend, and you'd fucking love Landry. He's great. If you saw Breaking Bad first, you're watching Friday Night Lights, waiting for that psycho to kill everyone in that fucking school.
Dude,
I can't. So Fanny partner, like when she finally watched Breaking Bad, she loved Friday Night Lights. Like had rewatched it a bunch of times, just loved it. And I kept trying to explain to her, like, no, you don't know Jesse Plemons like you think you do. And then she fucking messaged me when he shoots the kid in Breaking Bad.
Oh,
I was like, what the hell, Landry?
Dude, that was a turning point. I mean, the enslavement thing was kind of next level.
Sitting in the car with him when they kill the girl on her porch. Like, yeah, it's just I don't mind spoiling Breaking Bad. Folks should have watched that by now. Oh my God.
Oh yeah. But no, I mean, I don't think in terms of TV, like maybe Kevin Bacon in Sleepers gets kind of close to that for me, but
right. Yeah, he is freaking evil.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I guess Oz had like a million great candidates.
God, Oz. That was where we all first met J.K. Simmons.
Oh, dude.
Well, a lot of us first met J.K. Simmons.
Going back in the Wayback Machine.
Parquet floor. Ugh. Oz was a lot, dude. Back when HBO first introduced us to binge watching and then handed us a show that you can't watch more than like 2 of in a row without like getting like hives.
Dude, most of my Oz memories are like skimming HBO looking for like C-level Skinamax nudity, and then it's like, oh, maybe there's some I made a poor decision.
Oh no, Piranu, it's not gonna go well.
This isn't what I wanted.
So what did y'all say? John Drew weighed in with having just finished Succession, the entire cast of Succession. And I have to agree. My mom just started watching Succession and just called me up out of the blue. Hey, what are you doing? Like, oh my God, Mom. What's wrong? What's going on? She's like, no. That Succession show you got me watching. Those people are the worst. I can't look away. You got me addicted. What have you done?
I feel like we've discovered another question here, which is like, there is the best worst person, but what about the best worst cast?
Right.
Like Succession versus Sunny.
Right. Or you're the worst. Is you're the worst in there? Like there's some nice people on
Yeah.
You're the Worst. It's Always Sunny really just has Rickety Cricket. And I guess
I don't know. They take turns being the worst.
is it Cousin Greg? Is that on Succession or Cousin Glenn or Greg? Greg, I think.
Yeah.
The dipshit cousin that I can't believe doesn't go to jail through that series. Uh, I feel like he's their Rickety Cricket. So let's see. John Paul Vital said, John Drew, good call, especially Roman, though that character was hysterical. Roman's hilarious, but also the worst. The shit that comes out of that dude's, my God. Max Chittister said, Starling always wins. Alex Miracle says, Kevin Durand from Lost. I had forgotten, but Alex is really correct. Kevin Durand is the shithead that shows up on the boat, like when the mercenaries first show
I
up to
thought
the
it was a
island.
basketball player.
No, you're Kevin Durant.
Oh,
I don't know basketball. I think I'm right there. But every time he's on screen, he's a despicable character. But every time he's on screen, you're just glued to it. And I have to agree. Every time that dude is in any movie, like you got a bargain. He was just in Abigail, the We've Kidnapped a Vampire movie that came out recently, and he's freaking hilarious. I watched a Nicolas Cage movie, Primal, where they're trapped on a boat at sea with a tiger. I think it's a tiger, but also might be a lion. But also Kevin Durant. He's a serial killer and steals the show. He's fucking steals the movie.
Nicolas Cage in Life of Pi?
Basically on like a cargo ship. And like the guy is in a movie with Nicolas Cage, and I'm telling you, he's crazier. And like that's a mean feat.
That's a gift from
That's a
Cage,
really
if you're asking me. That's
right,
Cage playing it down.
Right. I feel like Cage dialed it back to like let the kid go, you know?
I see what you're doing here.
Yeah. Well, brings us around to stuff we watched and what all's in the TV diaries this week.
The Diaries of the Television Dudes. Brought to you by only the finest cocaine wine.
Kyle, you may not have kept a real detailed TV diary, but what have you been watching lately?
No, my TV diary now is a large leather volume on a big oak desk in my office with ink and quill close by. Upon my death, it will be read at my funeral. But yeah, the digital version I haven't updated for a little bit. Lots of F1, man. We just had our triple header weekend, baby. I know nobody cares about this, so I'll just be real quick. Really significant moment when Lewis Hamilton, after like 2.5 years of no race wins and very few race podiums, got his first race win. And it was like a legit, the strategy was there, the car was there, he didn't fuck up. But it was emotional. It was in the UK's home race in Silverstone. It was the end of a 3-week, like they do this, they travel all over the globe, super bad for the environment, I bet. But like 3 times a year, they do 3 weeks in a row. There's several times where they do 2 weeks in a row, but most of the time there's a week break in between races. So this 3 week in a row thing was kind of nice because it was also family vacation. My family loves F1. It's like our thing. So, we get the projector out and make a whole thing of it. But enough of that.
Do you throw that up on like the back wall of the house, or is that in the...
Oh, dude, I got a nice screen with like some legit synthetic silver like woven into it, like the highly reflective material.
Yeah.
But no, like for realsies, you're a Shudder guy, right?
Say what?
You like Shudder?
Yeah.
I know last time we talked, like I've been
I watch a lot of horror movies. It's Halloween year round.
Oh yeah, and it's also Joe Bob year round. They switched the format up, so now they're doing, instead of double features for each episode, it's singles. Okay. But he's going live every other week.
In the age of streaming, I think we have weird shit happen sometimes with sure, that's on whatever streaming platform, but what version of the movie? And I don't just mean like director's cuts, I mean like what work print. And I was watching Castle Freak on Shudder.
I saw that one.
And if you watch, if you don't want to watch the Joe Bob one and you just want to watch Castle Freak, that print's fucking terrible. If you go hit play on it on Shudder, it looks awful. The color's washed out. It looks like shit. If you go watch the Joe Bob one, it's gorgeous because his show went and sourced a better print.
That's awesome.
And so like I was like I'm watching like, man, this looks like ass. Like because I started watching it on Joe Bob's and was like, I haven't seen this movie in a long time. I'm gonna go back and watch like the real version before I jump back into the commentary version.
Mhm.
And then was like, nope, we're watching the commentary version because this looks bad.
Yeah, no, he did. He's had a lot of good ones this season, but he did Donnie Darko, which I feel like not only did he have a lot of like additional stuff to like add to it, but I don't know, it just kind of reminded me of that time when that movie came out and
Oh man,
I don't know, discovering movies and then like talking about movies, and it was like the puberty film for me.
I remember being in a like a new media, video media art class at UT in the art department, like on the third floor of the art building. And whatever reason, we were all working on projects or we were goofing around that day. It's an art degree, folks. And this girl came in with a copy of Donnie Darko on DVD and was like, and it was straight up like a Garden State moment of like, everybody, you have to watch this movie. It will change your lives. And then she threw in Donnie Darko. And like, we all sat and watched Donnie Darko, or most of it. Like the professor came in and was like, what are we doing? And you're like, we're watching this movie. And he's like, I don't watch very many, you know, like new popular movie, you know, it's like talking to your classical music professor about Lady Gaga or something.
Hop in Citizen Kane.
Yeah. Or really weird art shit. Last year at Marienbad or
Nosferatu.
Yeah. Man, he was fucking weird. He was a great professor. But anyway, he sat down and watched like a lot of Donnie Darko and was like, no, this is a really great musical montage.
Yeah.
Like that was bad. That was pretty much his whole take on it. Was like, that guy really gets music montage.
Dude, I know you were riffing off what I said, but if I could riff off what you said, I had a moment like that in college, but I didn't go to film school. I went to weird ass art school. And my moment was when the Wolverine Origins work print leaked and I risked getting expelled by screening it in the computer lab during finals week when everybody's staying up late doing their projects with like the clunky looking claws. And people are like, wait, is this the movie that comes out tomorrow? It's like, yes, it is. Don't tell on me.
You even know how to kill me. I'm gonna cut your head off. See if that works.
Now feels like a good time to mention that if you haven't joined us over on patreon.com/TV Dudes, you can throw down $1 an episode, get bonus content every single week. You're only charged for the bonus eps. So for $4 a month, you're going to get double the podcast. Or for $5 an episode, you can get a review that you write of a show, any review, however you feel about it, read on the pod every single week for the $5 an episode. Or for the main course, you can throw down $20 an episode and choose what we watch. John Paul recently did it. Danny Doggett's going to pick another one. I think John Paul's going to pick another one. Looking like about half our content a month is anime that we're forced to watch. The Baxters, stuff like that. Honestly,
not much has changed.
Those crack me up. I absolutely love. I love it when folks hand us a show to watch that would never be on our radar. It's always fun. I still love the time that I paid to make us watch. Fuck.
It was a me thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was some show you were watching, and I can't even remember what show it was.
Nobody was. I mean, it was.
But I made a Patreon account called Definitely Not Kyle Scott at yahoo.com or whatever, and like I made everything on it was like absolutely not Kyle. Yeah. Oh, that was really fun.
Love it.
So for the main course this week, Kyle, you had brought up something when we were chatting about you being on the episode this week that I thought was kind of a cool, interesting thing. Similar to our weekly tune in with the TV Dudes questions. What is the best like single streak of sitcoms in years on a network? Like having like a must see TV night. Like what was the late 90s? My college years had Friends and Frasier and Veronica's Closet, which I believe came on after Frasier. I don't know. We were already pre-gaming by then. Usually it was Thursday. Must see double TV.
What was the Fox Friday night spectacle at that time?
I cannot remember. I grew up in a town that did not have Fox
Oh.
or MTV for church reasons.
Yeah, I don't remember years in the 90s. I just remember Mantis, VR5,
Oh,
every
man.
episode of X-Files,
Yeah, we had
Briscoe County
we
Jr.
did get X Files. By the end of high school, we had X Files. When Simpsons, when Bart was first big, we did not have Fox. It sucked.
Oh.
Like we just go places and you just see all these T-shirts and shit, and we're like, what is that?
Man, people love the color yellow, dude.
Oh my god! Like
Yeah.
I caramba, like I didn't know if it was knockoff or not. Like I didn't know the real slang. It's terrible. I hate it.
Well, I think I have like a pretty good like bar setter. I guess what would you call that? Like, I don't know. I'm gonna put everything up against this, but NBC Thursday nights, 2009 to 2013. This is 30 Rock, The Office, Parks and Rec, and Community.
And I think you're right. Like I always whenever I think about like best stretch of, I always think of their branding is so fucking solid. Must see TV with Friends and that that era and Frasier and all of that. I don't know if Third Rock from the Sun was still on at that time, if that was NBC. Anyway, but I do. The reason my memory's spotty on what other shows those were is because there was some filler in that 2 hour block.
Yeah.
Like, all right, let's be real. And there's not every season of all those shows. Parks and Rec had a terrible season 1. 30 Rock season 1 has like the weirdest lighting. It looks like ass. Community later on had a gas leak season. It's still fine, but it's different.
And I think that might have been post 2013. I think Community and Parks and Rec might have gone another season.
And The Office went on longer than it, arguably should have. Like those guys are definitely getting fired for making that documentary that long.
Yeah, so maybe I'm really thinking like 2009 to
there's a sweet spot where all of their best seasons overlap, where like seasons 3, 4 of Parks and Rec are hitting with the, some of the best years of Community, are hitting with some of the solid years of The Office. Like, I am not the world's biggest Office fan, but I recognize that it's had some amazing seasons of comedy. I really think that that's a solid argument. I don't know. There were years where Norman Lear had like 12 or 13 shows on at the same time. And I don't know if it's fair to count those or if that is some like early baseball asterisk score kind of shit. Like, well, they played more games in the season. So
they wear different shoes now. The shorts are longer.
Right. Michael Phelps is swimming in like the weird suit or something. Yeah. I don't know. Because like, I know at some point, like Norman Lear, like there were no other sitcoms like that on. And so there had to be one night of the week where all his best work was on and there's no competition. Like there's no Fox Married with Children going up against whatever you're doing. Like there's just Norman Lear and then there's like other shit.
There was a really strong time for BBC America when they were showing like Doctor Who, Matt Smith, Orphan Black, Sherlock.
Okay.
And
I thought you were going to go earlier with like the Ab Fab years.
But I was just like, all of this is like really good, like would be on any other network. And they got all these. I feel like there was a fourth one that I can't remember.
No,
that was really good.
You're right. Like, and especially if you're used to thinking BBC America is some, Masterpiece Theater type shit or PBS type shit.
They actually back then would show Star Trek: The Next Generation all the time. I guess because Patrick Stewart's British. Yeah,
there's a ton of it, and they've got it. And
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd always watch it on there.
I'm trying to think if there's any other favorite. I mean, Fox would love me to believe in the animation domination block, but I've never really gotten into it.
Ooh, but that too, like which era?
Right.
Because now they're kind of doing a thing where I feel like they try out a new show on there, but God, it's got to be something with Bob's Burgers. Well, I feel like that's just a masterpiece.
And like I remember Saturday morning cartoons. Like the real era of that. It's such a small window of time looking back on it. It's weird that there's an amount of nostalgia for it because it's like, I don't know, 10 years in the 70s, 80s, across the 70s and 80s where it was really strong. And then it really faded out. And there aren't, I don't know, there's not programmed TV really like that anymore. I don't think there's Saturday morning cartoons anymore. But Toonami, things like that.
Oh.
Is it Jetix? Was that the other one?
I think that's where like it came after Toonami.
Yeah, and
Yep.
like so afternoon blocks like that, like the
Yeah,
place where
that's
the kids watched their Yu-Gi-Ohs.
pretty good callback.
Uh, so I'd love to hear the folks at home post it on the social media. We'll throw this question out there. What's the best block of TV? I used to definitely try to make it home for I don't know. Sunday nights are always that prestige TV block. Once binge watching
Yeah.
started, there was a crossover period where binge watching was still like real DVDs and normal cable.
Yep.
And that sounds insane. Like they like kids. I could just see kids these days like, "Oh, those things can't overlap, Grandpa." Like, well, I wore an onion on my belt. It was the style in those days, and we watched Sopranos on shiny discs.
Dude, the power went out, or the Spectrum internet went out in the state of Texas yesterday. I almost dusted off my Entourage
For the
DVDs.
state of Texas,
Right. You know,
yes. I saw some quote from a Spectrum thinking this is going to impact the company. It's like, oh man, just say what you want to say. This is going to fuck up the world tour.
dude, every time I try to leave Spectrum, they're like, we'll give you internet for free. Just don't leave.
Like, man, but do you have internet to give?
Yeah. It's like, who's paying for this at this point? I guess nobody. That's why it shut down.
But I would watch we would watch Sopranos, we make time to watch 6 Feet Under. Like
Mhm.
those are, really great Sunday shows. I remember making appointment TV time to watch Sports Night back in the day.
Yeah.
Sorkin shows were like that for me. It's different than like a solid block. It was nice when the thing it led into was worth watching and not Veronica's Closet. I can't stress enough how much of that show I watched and how much tequila played a role in me not remembering any of it. Uh, we would we would pregame. It's Thursday night, which started weekends in college, and so we'd start watching Friends at 7 p.m. On Thursday, and then by 8 p.m. we would break out a bottle of tequila, and you'd do a shot each commercial break, and then at 9 p.m. was when whatever that Kirstie Alley show, Veronica's Closet, was done, when we would roll out to the bar. It was walking distance from our college campus. It's just no way in enabling.
But you would watch the last show.
But in theory, we were getting ready. I'm sure we were putting way too much hair gel in. We were fucking D-bags. Yeah. But, and then the architecture of the college definitely enabled this because we just stumble over to this bar where you shouldn't have been drinking.
Dude, you want to talk about a good block of television? I was recently in a hotel room with True TV, and they have this block that starts with Impractical Jokers, followed by Impractical Jokers. Then they have another episode of Impractical Jokers, followed by 20 more episodes of Impractical Jokers.
I have seen this, but it was ridiculousness.
I've seen that one too.
Which also Lisa and I got up to her mom's. We went up to visit her folks for Christmas, and cannot believe that this is her mom's favorite show on earth. But her mom's favorite show is Ridiculousness.
Love that. I love that.
It blew my mind. It dropped my jaw. Like when she was like, "Oh, I want to show you this show. It is the funniest thing ever." And like, I don't know what Lisa and I thought she was going to turn on the TV to show us like weird episodes of Antiques Roadshow. I don't know. It was definitely not like days worth of ridiculousness DVR where she's flipping through like, "Oh no, wait, this is the good one." Like, is it? Is it the good one, Kara?
Well, like I feel like certain streaming channel or streaming providers, Amazon being one of them, they're doing like the XM radio strategy of having just like marathon channels.
Yes.
So going through my sister's TV,
I think you're right. I think
vacation.
Sirius XM or whatever has changed streaming network models. They don't know what they're doing. They're just flailing and looking at shit.
But no, like Sirius, you got like the Bob Marley channel, the White Snake channel, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Well, now it's like they had a Portlandia channel where it's just every season of Portlandia just on a constant loop, and you can just jump in whenever you want.
That's great because so they could get Star Trek: The Next Generation and just put a bird on every episode, and boom, you got it done.
This was awesome for when my grandparents visited for Christmas. It's like my grandpa's like, I don't know what to watch. I'm like, well, what do you want to watch? And he goes, well, I like The Rifleman, and it's like,
man, are you in luck?
Look at this black and white Western. Here you go.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Eventually, we made it to the Three Stooges channel, which
nice. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's called
would be my preference.
I can't do a Rifleman marathon. My stepdad loved that show, and I can't. But the Three Stooges, fuck yeah, man! I'll even watch Curly Joe, Fake Shimp, all of it.
Man, that was like one of the original marathon channels for me. Is like the Family Network or Family Channel
Mhm.
would do just like during the day. It would just be nonstop Three Stooges.
I going up and staying with my dad while he was sick towards the end of his life. I watched a lot of like regular cable TV and saw like a fucked up amount of catheter ads. Like there can't be an algorithm at work here. Like this
That catheter doesn't even
this
fit
is
anymore.
basically like a mechanical process. I don't think there's any algorithm putting that television into their TV like that. Uh, but man, it definitely knew its audience.
That would be a weird remorse thing. Like, I know my father's gone because it's been a while since I've seen a catheter ad.
Right.
Nobody's trying to get in my pee hole
Like
anymore.
I'm not, it's like a Wilford Brimley looking dude that lands like a lightweight plane, like that's his hobby, and he's like, I get my catheters by the mail now, and it's so much simple. Like whatever, man, what?
It goes to the wide angle. You realize it's a model plane.
Right.
Grandpa,
Yeah. No, we don't.
let me help you with that
anymore.
catheter.
But he had the Laugh Channel, LAFF. I know John
Mm.
Paul at home knows what we're talking about. The Laugh Network is old sitcoms. Like I say old, it's like 80s sitcoms. So I watched a block of like Night Court, Grace Under Fire. They would also usually throw like a Home Improvement or something in there. It was
Yeah.
so, but it was just basically like from those wannabe classic must see TV blocks that all of them tried to advertise to. It's just plucking certain shows out of it and building this constant running network of just like how much Drew Carey show can you watch? Like turns out a lot.
Dude, that is the perfect segue to where I wanted to take this conversation, which is it's time for us to make our own Megazord. all
Okay.
right? If we were to assemble our must-see block of TV, what are I guess you could do any amount of shows.
No, but it's
2
4 hours.
is
Yeah.
probably, yeah.
Before you got to go to
The
local
limit.
news.
I think there's,
Before
you can't really have
you got a
an
Simpsons
out.
rerun, a Seinfeld rerun before it, maybe.
2 episodes of Martin before me.
Right.
Yeah.
2 episodes of Martin. I saw a reel the other day. This Kendrick Lamar and somebody else being interviewed. They're young, like it's like Good Kid, Mad City era. Like he's young, and the woman interviewing, I feel so bad for her. She asks, "What do y'all do after a show?" And the other guy goes, "Smoke a shitload of dope." And she's like, "How much dope?" A shitload. Like, it's just great. She goes over to Kendrick Lamar. He goes, "I don't know. I go home, watch an episode of Martin." And you could just see her career die. She takes the mic back and goes, "What's Martin?" And he gets up and leaves. He goes, because he looks at her and he does the thing. He goes, "Martin," and nothing. And he just stands up and walks out of the fucking interview.
Oh my gosh, she's like the anti-Narwhal. Like
Right.
the
Oh my
worst
God, he's like the
interviewer, the
least
most
prepped.
clueless.
Yeah, like the least prepped.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that's
It was brutal. All right. Mine would definitely include Night Court. You said yours would have 2 episodes of Martin as the rerun lead in.
yeah.
I think I would do 2 episodes of Simpsons. It calls me back to college.
You know what? Would go in. You want to go every other one? Like you do one, I do one?
Sure.
You know what I'm going to put in my block? Because I feel like if it was up with like 3 other bangers of shows, it'd still be on. And that's Abby's.
The bar? The backyard bar
the
one?
backyard bar show.
Okay. I honestly, I almost thought you were fucking with me for a minute. The only other person that watched all of that, because it's got Dub from Middleman.
Yep. No, and like
Natalie Morales.
The thing is, I just feel like in a different environment, that show could have really taken off. But there wasn't like, I don't know, it was kind of a weird time for it to come out. And there might have been something too with the production because it was filmed outside.
It was a live audience kind of thing. Like it had a live audience. It was shot weird. But also, it's like half Mike Schur and half somebody else. I can't remember the other guy's name. But it was the first one we saw where there's a lot of shows now, Rutherford Falls and stuff, where like Mike Schur's one name on it.
Yeah.
But it's not Good Place. It's not his baby, or Brooklyn or whatever. That's his baby. And I think this was one of the first ones where we were all like, "Oh shit, new Mike Schur show." And it's not. It doesn't quite have that vibe. It took a little bit to get its weird cast of characters rolling. And yeah, I'd agree. Like by the end of the season, I felt like it had found a kind of fucking weird groove that that need to be. And I think back of all the shows we talked about, Parks and Rec, Seinfeld's first season's weird. Um, if you don't let shows breathe for a minute, like if they can't work it out and you need them to be like hit on all cylinders on the pilot, that's just not going to work. We will never get Seinfeld's out of that. Uh, we will never get a good Parks and Rec or 30 Rock or whatever. They got to, you know, and I think Abby's got killed in season 1 just as it was finding its way for something.
Yeah.
And anybody who disagrees with me is totally fair, but tell me what replaced Abby's.
Yeah, good.
What must see TV legend? I'm gonna have to eat so much crow if it's something fucking awesome, because I don't know what comes on what times now.
No way. I'm pretty sure.
I don't think it was anything big that they replaced that with. I just went to a stockholder bonus or something. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just so tempted to look it up. I won't.
I would throw Brockmire in there. I've just been rewatching it recently, but that is a show that, because it was on IFC and they are so weird and little known.
Man, they had their own thing going on.
Man, I don't think anybody watched Brockmire, and I honestly, that's kind of how they got away with it. It was and it ran its time. It can't run endlessly, so it may not be a good pick for this kind of block. But I don't think enough people saw it, and I think it could use like a really strong lead in, like Night Court.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm now thinking of like themed like blocks of TV, because for a second I was like, oh my God, there's a while where like sci-fi shows would be in like fantastic blocks and you would just get like all of it mainline. So I'm thinking I might go on like a little journey where like, okay, so we start with Abby's.
Okay.
We want something that's still funny.
Okay.
Maybe,
so it's your modern Cheers anchor. Okay.
Yeah. But maybe we make the camera angles a little more serious. I guess they're both multicams, but anyways, no, Trophy Wife. God,
man, you're giving Natalie Morales all the time.
Maybe this is like the underdog.
Yeah, she's the bestie in that too,
dude. Oh, yeah, maybe it's just every show that has her in it. It's just be on this block.
Morales shows. It's those couple episodes of White Collar. It's the
dude. I swear I wasn't even thinking that, but yeah, both of those shows got cut down. Man,
I really enjoyed Trophy Wife. That show's funny as shit.
Yeah, and it's funny because when I asked people about it who hadn't seen it, they were like, "Oh, that doesn't look. I don't think that's for me." And it's like, man, maybe they shot themselves in the foot with the title,
right?
Right.
I feel like
Blonde Best Friend,
right? Where's the
let's troubleshoot better titles? We're bringing it back.
Like we can have a terrible title block, like Trophy Wife, Cougar Town.
But dude, that trophy type title would have worked in like 2003. Definitely 96.
Probably. I was thinking earlier that it would be great to do a block of like a mean night of television, and do You're the Worst, Seinfeld, Always Sunny. Could also do Brockmire in that. I'm just trying to think if there's somebody else that could fill in it's just truly fucking young ones or something like that. But like that would be a hell of a 2-hour block. I think like you should be careful where you place that in the week. You fuck some people's week up with that. You could also do like just weird ass family. Like Trophy Wife would fit in there.
Oh yeah.
Trying to think.
Yeah, what was that one? Oh my God, it had one of those one-word titles, but the main actress was on SNL for a season. Killing me. Oh my God, it's not Choosing, but it's something like that.
Oh,
Damn
it.
No.
Had the three. Was it the three?
Yeah, it was her daughter, and her brother.
Casual.
Yes. Oh, that'd be perfect for this block.
Oh yeah, Casual would work in that. Absolutely.
I'm Sorry. That's another one.
Yes.
An IFC.
Yes.
But no, back to your Megazord, man.
Okay.
What are you gonna morph into next? Wait, remind me. So you start with Night Court?
I was going to start with Night Court
after 2 hours of Simpsons.
After 2 hours of Simpsons, okay. Go straight into Night Court, and then we were just going to do a jarring block straight into Brockmire.
Yep.
The people are just going to be off balance, not know what the fuck. They're going to be reaching for the remotes.
Yeah. In my head where I think you're going to go next, for some reason, I feel like Taxi might be coming up, and I want to influence you. But I'm like, making the connections. Maybe it's like the costumes, the plaid.
Taxi's not a bad call to just drop you back into like
Oh,
the
I know you had something. I'm not trying to influence you.
no, but I think Taxi's better than where I was because Taxi both takes it back to the night court era, so we can get like a time back and forth thing going with the block, but also it marries it like, hey, where are we going with this? Well, the meanness of Danny DeVito coupled with this old school charm. So you got the meanness of Brockmire and Danny DeVito, and then you got this old school night court charm. So yeah, let's go Taxi.
Where were you gonna go?
I was gonna go Maud.
But dude, that's the last block, man. That's you got to have it on there for the last block, bro.
Well, so I don't know.
That can be another Megazord. That can be
Yeah.
like Super Sentai 5 or something.
But yeah, let's plug in Taxi.
All right, man. That's too good. I feel like you should get to pick my next one then.
All right.
So I came in with
2 episodes of Martin.
2 episodes of Martin, followed by Abby's,
Okay.
which Abby's would get killed in the number 1 spot. Yeah. But then Trophy Wife.
Okay.
So kind of like an underdog thing happening here.
Yeah.
Which the one I had in my head, I don't think is really an underdog show, but did get lost a little bit.
Well, it's hard to think of ones that run more than like a single season that aren't underdogs. Like it's hard to call anything that's 7 seasons long an underdog, or more. But that's where most of the good sitcoms seem to live. Is these long ass runs. So after Trophy Wife,
Taxi.
Taxi. We're gonna have to go with Taxi. I'm trying to think of something really good. Damn it! And all I keep thinking of is like, no, that's terrible.
I was going to go left field. You want to go
All
left field?
right. What's your left field?
Wilfred.
Okay.
Elijah Wood.
Yeah, the dude in the dog suit, right?
The dude in the dog suit.
Okay.
Did you ever watch that one?
I did. I was not the biggest fan. So I did not watch all of it. It's also got Ethan Suplee.
Yeah.
Yes, the neighbor, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I forget the connection. Maybe he was like the brother of the neighbor, because the neighbor is a girl he has a crush on.
Okay.
And the dog is actually her dog, and he's just dog sitting. But that show got batshit crazy towards the end. I feel like it had like a few really good seasons, and it could have ended at season 3. Like so many shows do that. But it just kind of just winged it. I think it might have had 6 or 7 seasons.
The one that was popping in my head because we mentioned earlier was "You're the Worst." From the relationship angle, and the sitcomness, because that way you could close out with a mean ensemble like Always Sunny or something.
Dude, no, I love where you're going with that.
All right.
Because I was definitely going to say Tales from the Crypt for my last one.
Yeah.
But no, like we're going in a direction with this. This is like must see ex-girlfriend TV.
Okay.
But it's in reverse. Like you do your sorrows at the bar first.
Right.
Then you go home to the family second. Then you are divorced and now you're single and having to live that life again.
So for my last pick, we got to bring it up modern after Taxi. And I think we just got to close it out with Broad City.
Dude.
I don't think a shitload of people saw Broad City. It's hard to call it an underdog, but I don't think enough people saw it. And I think it's a great just cruise out for your night. It's loose, it's crazy, it's weird. But I think it fits in with that fucked up Brockmire energy. And the nods back to like old school comedy.
Mm-hmm. Dude, this isn't for mine, but like another Megazord we could build could be like all the comedian sitcoms.
Oh, yeah.
Like so have like Seinfeld and Curb in there, and then like maybe put Crashing and
what was the
and Louis. Did I say that?
There's Louis. There's also Life with Louis, which was the exactly the same show but cheaper.
Mm-hmm. Bobby's World.
Bobby's World. Legit. The one with Jim Jeffries.
Yeah.
It's literally just his stand-up act. And I for the honorable mention for the 2-up rerun on one side or the other, we'd have to do like Everybody Loves Raymond, or a Seinfeld episode, or like the shows that were built around a comics bit, or shtick.
Yeah. Which I guess at one point in history was every show.
Right. That's all they ever tried to do. Like that was always the big crime of like Mitch Hedberg, was that they deeply wanted to figure out a show for that guy before he died. And they just couldn't figure it out.
It's about this duck and he's trying to get some bread, but nobody wants to give this duck no bread.
Like dude's hilarious and his delivery's great, but it does not work in a sitcom sense, you know? Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I think that'll probably wrap it up for us this week. You can tune in next week when Nick and I oh shit. I'm out next week.
You're out next week.
I'm out next week. So Nick will do a thing. It'll be great. There'll be magic and animal tricks and special guests. Yeah, Kyle, say thing.
Say thing. Oh, that's you're gonna be out next week, dude. Am I gonna get? Actually, I'm gonna be out of town next week too.
Well,
so
it'll be a mystery to everybody.
The jet setting, dude. You want to know what's interesting?
You're going back to Wisconsin?
Our travel schedules. No, Portland.
I'm going to Denver.
Ooh, that's fun. I mean, we're both going to fun states.
Yeah, no,
Fun
I've
cities.
been to Denver before, but been to
Love
Portland a
Denver.
couple of times. I've never been to Seattle. I hear they're
Dude, I went to Seattle this fall or this spring.
nice.
Shannon, my wife had a conference there, and I had 3 days to like wake up whenever I want, go to coffee shop.
Exactly why I'm
walk
going
around.
to Denver. Lisa's got a conference.
That's oh man.
That's the shit.
Give yourself find like your little neighborhood.
That's how I saw
walk
Savannah,
around.
Georgia. That's how I saw. Yeah, I
Oh,
love tagging along on
yeah.
conferences. The one she had one in Phoenix. I didn't give any shits about seeing Phoenix residents. I don't care. So I caught the end of that conference. We rented a car, drove up to the Grand Canyon.
Ooh.
But yeah, I
nice.
love having extremely skilled and talented partner that you can follow on business trips.
Yeah, no, it
Great.
is. It is an advantage.
All right. Well, until next time then.
I'm Joe Bob Briggs saying, what? No, I'm kidding. TV Dude's out. I don't do a good Joe Bob.